So we can't be, what are we benefiting from illegal immigrants coming into our country and flocking into the country? It's the same thing that I expressed earlier on this morning, that, we're creating a European model where we're not in European standards yet. African countries have failed their own people. They've got poor leadership, poor governance, and doing business is something that is only restricted to a few. So we're not taking business people and bringing them here. We don't have as many tourists as we as South Africans tour other African countries. So we're not importing the same value that we give to other countries into South Africa. And that's the problem. It's an exchange. We need to exchange business people for business people, professionals for professionals, goods for goods. So if they want us to carry on like absorbing illegal immigrants, then they must also allow our illegal immigrants to go into their countries, because currently, even in Zimbabwe, about 14 South Africans.
Do you have a sense that the other countries, right, in a sense, are justifying illegal immigration, or we have illegal immigration because of the terrible conditions in those countries? We look at DRC. Let's just take DRC as an example. I mean, nothing works there. Roads are not working. Infrastructure has collapsed. People are running to neighboring countries. There's an intermittent war, etc. Right? So there is a category there of people who could legitimately say, we are not safe at DRC. Can we come to South Africa? How do you, in your campaign, distinguish between those kind of legitimate refugees, asylum seekers, and people like that? Who you and I have a responsibility.
Okay, so I always explain this when I talk about migration. Migration is not something that you wake up in the morning and you start doing. It goes with planning. It goes with processes. So as a country, we have to look at our resources, what we have available, how much we have for our own people, how much we can take in. We're currently the only country, or one of the only countries, that have an unlimited number of resources that we take in. Of refugees that we take in, which is an unfair model. It's not going to be sustainable, because if every single African country decides to go to war today and every single African country decides to come to South Africa, then we've got a serious problem in our hands. Now, the Home Affairs Department has about 2,500, I think that was the number, I'm not sure, litigations against them by foreigners at this current moment, right? And that's why we're saying, SA First Forum, which is what we just formed, allows South Africans to say, we've seen AfriForum go and litigate against government, because the same legal team that the government presents, and when you read the submissions, you say, no man, but why didn't the minister argue this? Some of the things they just let happen, like the changing of a surname where a husband can take a wife's surname. It was two white people who came and said, I want my wife's surname, blah, blah, blah. But the implications of it touch our tradition, religion, and values as well. We were never consulted about that because we don't have access to the courts. So there's a lot of things that are going on in the courts themselves that leave us in a situation that we are currently in. And, people are going crazy now. You're going to meet with AfriForum. We're definitely going to meet AfriForum because they have the best prosecution in the country, private prosecution right now. No other forum does that. And you know why they do that? Because they're protecting themselves and their own people.
People were criticizing for meeting AfriForum?
Yeah, we're going to meet AfriForum now.
To collaborate or just to learn from? Is it just
I've made it clear we're going to learn. But what are you going to learn from white people? So I can't learn from people because they are white. Like, I don't understand it. Right now, as I'm saying, AfriForum has a model of when people subscribe and their money is not corrupted. They can see universities, they can see security,
see where their money is going.
They can see where their money is going. Why can't we learn from that? We're not going to talk about land, and we're not going to talk about a fake genocide. That's not where our focus is. Our focus is in creating a model.
You're not afraid to be associated with those kind of bizarre things that they're doing,
but because
going around spreading our name abroad.
No, we're not going there for that, JJ. You can do that. You guys can talk to them about that. You and FF and Malema can go and fight in your own battles.
Izolo bekunevidiyo kuliwa ama South Africans elwa nabo beyaphathela induku. Understand? Nini kunentombazane yabo ekade inevideo isitshele the way abazokwenza ibhizinisi ngenkani eSouth Africa, ngenkani. Yasitshela the way esistupid ngakhona. Yasitshela the way ingane zabo zizofunda ngenkani ezikoleni zethu ezithi ingane zingafundi. Bathembeni labo bantu. Bathembeni labo bantu labo yini laba ithembile. Uyazi ukuthi last year December 2025 December between December 11 and 12 ne ngise flightini ngisuka eDubai ngaze ngabhala status sami ka Facebook ngathi guys kwenzakalani iflight engikuyona abantu abamnyama mhlambe babe u6 then kuba belungu mhlambe 15 the rest bekwama Ethiopians. Angwazi kumehluko ukubahlukanisa Ethiopians and Somalians. So let's use one word sithi Ethiopians ngoba bayafana vele.
Nathula nathi nya hlazane iXhosa lo Nelson Mandela liya lo hlala eMinel House liphuma nje eRobben Island. Nathula apha nthina namhlanje nikaze nikhuluma ukuthi yini le uMandela ayoyihlalela eMinel House nayo idiscussa eMinel House. Nathula nathi nya apha nthina namhlanje nikaze nikukhulume lokho. Kodwa mengabe uJacinta esehamba eyokwenza imeeting neAfriForum. iAfriForum le efakwe kwiGNU namhlanje yanikwa uRamaphosa izikhundla. Seniyakhuluma nini ukuthi uJacinta hey this and that uyobamba imeeting neAfriForum ngoba yini this and that nina futhi.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining us for another breaking news update from South Africa. Today's story has sparked heated debate across social media and in political circles. MK Party member Jacinta Zuma has issued a strong public warning to the Department of Home Affairs, accusing officials of allegedly allowing South African identity documents and permits to end up in the hands of illegal foreigners. Her comments have raised serious questions about corruption, border security, and immigration enforcement. Stay until the end, because we'll explain exactly what Jacinta Zuma said, why Home Affairs is under pressure, and how South Africans are reacting. Jacinta Zuma addressed supporters and members of the public during a recent political engagement. She argued that Home Affairs must stop corruption within the department. Officials involved in illegally issuing documents should be investigated. South African identity documents should only be issued through lawful procedures. According to her remarks, the integrity of the country's documentation system is a national security issue. Presenter commentary. Jacinta Zuma says ordinary South Africans are frustrated because they believe corruption within government institutions makes it easier for undocumented migrants to obtain official documents illegally. Several reasons. These include allegations of corruption involving officials, reports of fraudulent identity documents, delays in processing legal documentation, concerns about undocumented immigration. Government agencies have previously arrested officials accused of document fraud in different provinces. Important context. These arrests relate to individual criminal investigations and do not mean the entire department is involved in wrongdoing. Jacinta Zuma argues that fraudulent documents affect several areas. Employment. People using fraudulent documents may obtain jobs unlawfully. Social services. Illegal documents can affect access to government benefits intended for lawful recipients. National security. Authorities say fraudulent IDs make law enforcement investigations more difficult. Border management. Questions continue about how undocumented migrants enter and remain in South Africa. Immigration remains one of South Africa's most discussed political issues. Some political parties want stronger border security, faster deportation processes for undocumented migrants, tougher action against corruption. Others argue that immigration should be managed lawfully. Refugees and asylum seekers have legal rights under South African law. Corruption should be targeted rather than entire communities. This makes the issue both political and humanitarian. Some supporters say Home Affairs needs urgent reform. Corrupt officials should face prosecution. Documentation fraud must end. Critics say Claims should be supported by evidence. Immigration discussions should avoid targeting people based on nationality. Corruption investigations should follow legal processes. The conversation continues across social media and news platforms. Questions many South Africans are asking include: will Home Affairs investigate the allegations? Will more officials be arrested? Will immigration policies change? Government institutions have previously launched investigations into document fraud cases, and authorities continue to investigate corruption where evidence exists. This story has reopened one of South Africa's biggest national conversations: immigration, corruption, and accountability. Jacinta Zuma is calling for stronger action against officials allegedly involved in document fraud, while many citizens are demanding transparency from Home Affairs. Do you agree with Jacinta Zuma's warning? Should Home Affairs do more to stop document fraud? Share your opinion respectfully in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for daily South Africa news and gist